good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yuvanesh,
Even 10,
you
10
can
15
start.
also. Good morning.
You are able to hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, 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 very much. Yes.
Dr. Subrahmanyam, you are going to give the intro or?
Then I'll hand over to you. Please wait for some.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yuvan, you can start.
Okay. Good morning. A warm welcome to dignitaries, special invitees, and all student participants of Patrician College of Arts and Science for final day of valediction of Student Development Program of Shift 2, organized by Department of Commerce, Accounting and Finance, and Corporate Secretariat. Education is more powerful weapon for changing the world as everyone waited to become an expert before starting. No one could become an expert. To become an expert, you must have experience. To get experience, you must experiment. Stop waiting, start working. Now let us start this program with prayer. Now I call upon Ms. Celestina from 2nd BCom Corporate Secretariat to invoke God's blessings.
Good morning. Prayer. Psalms chapter 126, verse 5. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to attend this webinar. We ask that you bless the students, faculty, and the resource person for making this webinar possible. We pray that you will guide us in all ways so that we will seek your will in everything that we do. We ask this in the name of Jesus, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Celestina. Now I request Ms. Sai Kirtana ma'am, Assistant Professor from Department of Accounting and Finance, to deliver the welcome and chief guest introduction.
Good morning to one and all gathered here. I welcome you all for this valediction. Thank you everyone for joining this valediction and making the Student Development Program a grand success. Today we have with us CMA Dr. S. Vasudevan, BSc MA, FCMA, PGDY and PhD. Dr. S. Vasudevan has combined experience as an academician and as corporate functional head for over 3 decades in multifaceted organization that includes central government, corporate organization, and educational institution. He had held senior position as executive director of a listed public limited company and also has dean of a business school. Based on his functional roles and experience, he has gained expertise on enterprise resource planning, supply chain management, and customer relationship management solution. He has involved himself in forging institutional tie-ups and MOUs. He had held position as member of Board of Studies, Academic Council, Finance Committee, and Management Committee of a university based in Tamil Nadu. He has contributed tremendously to the improvement of quality standards of the institutions in compliance of ISO and NAAC accreditation. He has published and presented many research papers and has, to his credit, Eminent Educationist Award presented by National and International Compendium, New Delhi, for outstanding achievements in the field of education. He was instrumental in building activities meeting as part of CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility activities. He has been handling workshops, seminars, and guest lectures at different institutions for different audience groups on topics that includes business analytics, data science, AI, finance for non-finance, cost management, working capital management, and entrepreneurship. He is also a visiting faculty for a reputed B school. He has also been offering investments advisory, especially with reference to insurance. He has traveled extensively within the country and abroad for research and business promotional activities, as well as for handling training programs. He is presently holding responsibilities as Director Business Development of the Institute of Analytics, USA, which is the training arm of the flagship consulting company, CRM Portals. We welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now it's time for briefing the session. I kindly invite Dr. R. Subramanian, sir, founder and CEO of Mindless Projects and Training Private Limited.
Welcome all of the gathering. Good morning. I thank God and the Almighty for this good opportunity for the last 3 days. I thank the authorities of the Patrician College and all the people who have done an excellent job in executing this program excellently. Today, our speaker is Dr. S. Vasudevan. The first day we had about the accountant perspective and the US professional course perspective. Yesterday, we had something on chartered accountancy and company secretary. Today, our Dr. Vasudevan, our good friend, is going to talk about the banking industry, insurance industry, the opportunities ahead, and the technology-based courses which are also available. And his vast experience is going to share his wonderful knowledge on the various area where you can also ask all the questions probably at the end. I once again thank the college authorities in systematically doing this program. It will be benefited. We hope it will be benefited for all the people who are attending this program. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Now I hand over the session to resource person, Dr. S. Vasudevan, sir, Director, IOA Analytics.
Thank you, and good morning to one and all of you. It is a pleasant morning today, and I am very, very glad that I have got this wonderful opportunity to be in the midst of all of you. And I thank the authorities of the Patrician College for organizing such a wonderful event, series of events for the last 3 days. And I'm very, very glad that I am also part of this opportunity to be with you all. And thanks to Dr. R. Subramaniam to have made this connect happen today for me to be in the midst of all of you. And I thank you also for the introduction given about me. And without spending much on the further proceedings, I want to straight away go into the presentation. And my dear friends, please be open enough and free enough to note down the points and ask questions at the end, so that it will be useful for all of us to respond to the same. So let me share the screen. I hope you are all able to see it.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So today we are on the 29th of June, and I'm going to give you a perspective about what is banking, insurance, and you might be wondering how technology comes into this whole aspects, because we are all students of commerce and from a corporate secretaryship, where it is more of finance. But you must have also, if you have been watching discussions, panels, and the kind of presentations and journal publications that are happening, and the kind of news that is happening around, you must have also seen that there is an emerging terminology called as fintech, that is combining finance and technology. So I am going to, while finance and technology has a huge and wide scope for engagement for anybody for that matter, I am going to confine myself to the discussion on banking and insurance as part of the finance, and combining and seeing how technology can play a role into this. I'll be also discussing a couple of use cases that we have actually provided as a solution for a banking company as well as for the insurance organization. So before we move forward, I just wanted to give you, maybe you are all aware about certain fundamentals, but nevertheless, I thought I should give a refresh on that. And accordingly, I thought we'll start with understanding what is really a bank and what is banking. So a bank is a financial institution where you get deposits and provide loans to the customers. When you say deposits, deposits could be in the form of current account or savings account or fixed deposits. Normally, when we think about deposits, we think about only as a fixed deposit. But when we say deposit, we are depositing as a customer into the bank, and the bank receives money as a current account or a savings account or a fixed deposit. Of course, in the fixed deposit category itself, you have multiple categories also with the terms varying from say about 1 day to even say 5 years, 7 years. Okay, so and the most important thing is if a financial institution which is licensed, this is the most important thing. That means it has to have a proper legal mandate to function as a bank. So there are different types of banks that are available, and normally we understand bank as a normally customer related banks. But when you say customers, the customers are the retail customers, commercial customers, investment customers, and kind of stuff. But now we are getting into specific retail banks, commercial banks, investment banks kind of segregation also happening across the global chain of banks. Why is it that happening? It is just like any other field. Like if you take the case of medicine, earlier medicine was very common, but nowadays you see that beyond MBBS, people don't stop with an MBBS. They go into a higher study of going into the specialization of either choosing cardiology or ortho, or you have a number of general medicine, gynecology, or so many other options are available. So similar to that, even in the finance sector, we get into the specialization. So banks also have to evolve to the needs of the changing environment in the business. So accordingly, though you have general banks available, many of the banks that we see around, like the nationalized banks and the other banks, are mostly commercial, handling to the public. But there are also banks that are evolving, which is only catering to the retail needs or from the investment. Okay, so there are specific banks also. So almost most of the countries are known internationally are regulated by the national government there or the central government. So and all the happenings. So this is what we were trying to understand from the what is a bank. So anybody who's going to deal with a bank are going to have transactions. When I say transactions, it means anything that has got monetary implication. So any monetary implication dealing with a bank becomes a banking activity. So banking is all that encompasses, all that includes any transaction that happens with the outside world by the bank with the customers. The customers could be individuals, it could be partnership firms, it could be a private limited company, it could be a trust, it could be government, it could be any body for that matter. And in India, in the context of India, it is governed by the Banking Regulation Act 1949. And even before that, the Reserve Bank of India, that is the pre-independence era itself, the Reserve Bank of India Act was established for the kind of bringing regulations in terms of the setting up of banks for the purpose of business. All these were the transitions that were happening in the global economic scenario due to the effect or impact of the First World War, and then followed by the recessions that happened, the Great Depression that happened 1929, 32, 33. So as a follow-up of, as a sequel to all those things, no, many things have to be put in place in across the globe. And though it was the country was under British Empire, nevertheless, it was felt that there has to be a banking system, and that's how the Reserve Bank of India Act was formed. And we continue to have the same act in place, like so many other acts which are pre-independence era. We follow the regulations that are the provisions of those acts, of course, with the amendments that are regularly required based on the changing scenario of the business and the economic environment and the social needs of the people. So far, we have discussed about what is a bank, what is a bank, what is banking. So in India, subsequent to the establishment of banks, so there has to also be a regulation. That's how the Indian post-independence, we had the Banking Regulation Act of. Now let us go to the other important area in the finance sector is insurance. So insurance is something which talks about how do we protect from the financial loss of an asset. What is an asset? Asset is something which is money or money's worth. Money or anything that can be converted into money is an asset. Okay. So any loss that happens to an asset, because it is money in money terms, it becomes a financial. Therefore, you cannot, though you may be or you may not be able to prevent the loss of an asset, but definitely the financial implication of the loss can be reasonably protected. And that is where insurance comes into the picture. I'll just explain to you with a simple example. For example, there is a building. A building has got a huge value. Due to some natural calamity like earthquake or some other thing, or it could be some unnatural thing also, like electrical, we have been seeing this in the newspapers also, some electrical short circuit and something, and some damage happens to the building. The building gets totally burnt out or something. It could be a single storied, two-storied, multi-storied, or whatever it is. Now, the building could not be protected, but the loss, there is a loss, financial loss implication on because of the loss of the building. That loss can be protected by way of insurance based on the value of that particular building. So insurance is a means of protection from the financial loss. And it is purely coming out what is called as a risk management. It comes under the category of risk management. There are so many risks that can happen in a business environment. So those risks have to be addressed. Those risks have to be handled. Those are all things which could be happening against what we call as contingent, the things that are likely to happen. And there could be an uncertain loss also. So how do we protect that? How do we ensure that the loss or the damage, the financial implication is kept to the minimum? So this is what is the insurance. See, earlier I tried to explain you the concept of banking from the viewpoint of explaining the bank. Here I am taking you in a different direction. I am explaining you the concept of insurance, and then I am taking you to the insurance company. So anybody, any organization which is involved in giving protection from the financial loss through the process of what is called as insurance is called as an insurance company. So a person who takes that insurance is called becomes a policy holder. Okay, so we have understood what is a bank. Based on what does the bank do? Bank takes money
and provides loan because it has, why does it provide loan? Because it has to earn revenue. Only when it gives loans to others, it will be able to generate revenue by way of interest, which is collected and which is used for the administration purposes and also to service the depositors. The bank also have to pay interest to them. So the whole activity is known to collect money from them, promise them or assure them a rate of interest based on which it tries to, using this money, they give the loans to the borrowers who are predominantly what you call business people. Of course, you also have other individuals who may take an educational loan, they can take a home loan and for other domestic purposes. But most of the activities are revolving around the business environment. So that is what is a bank. And any transaction that happens with the bank becomes a banking operation. So that is what we saw. Here, we are trying to understand from the viewpoint of what is insurance, and a company which deals with, or an organization which deals with insurance, it's called as an insurance. So what are the various components of insurance? So there is an insurer, the company which is doing the protecting the risk, specified risk. The risk has to be specified. You cannot have a blanket. Of course, there could be a comprehensive risk also. Every one of you, I think you must be owning vehicles, two-wheeler or four-wheeler, whatever it is. And vehicle insurance, you have what is called as a third-party insurance, which is to protect against any loss or damage that can happen to a third party when an accident takes place. But there is also an insurance, where you can add up the component of damage to the vehicle also. So there are certain very basic fundamental, there are various components to it. You have to specify what are all the risks that are covered. And that is how the insurance company will protect. And accordingly, based on the risk component, it will charge premium. Okay. So I'm going to explain to you what is a premium also. Premium is the consideration that is received to protect against the financial loss and to reimburse when the actual loss is going to happen. And what is the insured? The person who is seeking the insurance is called as an insured. And the premium is, as I told you, it's the fees or the amount that is collected as consideration. And it comes by way of a contract. And insurance is always a contract. Just like in a banking, you have a binding agreement when you make an application to a bank for opening an account, or there are lots of terms and conditions. You make an application, you agree to the terms and conditions, and you become a customer. But you don't sign a contract there unless it is going to be a loan. When you are going to deposit money there, you are just going to go to the bank, open an account where you agree to certain the terms and conditions of the procedures, and then you open the account. When a loan is given, of course, there is an agreement that is signed, a contract that is made. Whereas in the case of insurance, since it is against protection against financial loss, the course of happening of certain types of events only, certain types of risk only, it has to be very, very clearly specified, and therefore it is covered under the contract. And that so all these terms, what is the premium and other things are mentioned in the contract. So suppose I was talking about that, I'm taking the same example for you to have the continuity of understanding. Let's take the case of the building itself. Suppose the worth of the building is, say, let us say 50 lakhs worth, no, not 50 lakhs, sorry. It should be, let us say, 2 crores in current conditions. Let us say the building value is about 2 crores. The insured person can choose to, he cannot insure it for 5 crores. It cannot go beyond the value of the building, but he can protect it. I mean, he can ensure that the maximum value is 2 crores, but he can choose to protect it up to anything less than 2 crores. So it could be for 50 lakhs, it could be. So when a damage really happens, the amount of premium that is paid will be dependent on whether it is going to be on 50 lakhs or 1 crore, 1.5 crores or 2 crores. I'm just giving you the no slabs. It could be even 1.125 or something like that. Also, anybody can choose any amount for the amount to be fixed as the insured amount, the sum assured. But whatever it is, the premium will be dependent on that. When the actual loss is happening, the pro rata calculation will be made. Pro rata means proportionately the amount of loss to the kind of damage that has happened and the kind of insured amount to the total value will be calculated, and accordingly the reimbursements will be paid. I mean, the compensation will be. It's not reimbursement, it is compensation. We have to be very, very clear. It is a compensation that is paid to the insured person. Okay. So a policy document, the contract, which has got all these things. What is the insured amount? Who is the insurer? Who is the insured? What is the premium amount? What is the term? All these are covered under the insurance policy. So insurance policy becomes a very, very important legal document. So the legal principles, since it has got it is a contract, we need to understand that what are the principles of the life insurance contract, especially in the life insurance. That should be all the material facts have to be brought. See, insurance itself has got two different, life insurance and non-life insurance, or you can call it as general insurance. In the life insurance, it is about individuals. In the individuals or group of individuals, that is what is called as group insurance. And in the case of non-life insurance, it could be anything, non-life or general, it could be any asset, including for individuals, for medical, health insurance policies can be taken, vehicle insurance can be taken, properties or assets can be taken, ships, marine insurance can be taken. So any asset can be insured. But most importantly, the material facts by the insurer has to be provided, both by the insured as well as the insured. And there should be an insurable interest. Insurable interest means there should be a at the time of taking, for example, what it really means is one cannot go and take an insurance for a third party. I cannot go and take an insurance for a house which is 2 buildings away from me, from my house, because I have no insurable interest there. For the simple reason, if I'm going to take an insurance on another building, how can I claim damage? Because when I have not put any money there. So therefore, there has to be an insurable interest. That means there has to be a rightful claim to the asset. That is what is the insurable interest. There should be a proximate cause. There should be a cause for the damage or loss that is going to happen. And there is the it should be then. The claim amount cannot be more than the sum assured, which I have already explained. Then you have transfer of all rights. Subrogation follows the principles of indemnity. That means to transfer all the rights to the person. The moment the event happens, the loss and the whole thing transfers to the insurance company. There has to be a free consent. Free consent, no coercion are meaning the same. It has to come freely. What does it mean? That means there is no coercion. And there should not be any fraudulent motive to the whole in the process of taking an insurance. There should not be no undue influence. That means one should not induce people. You can Inducement is like a undue influence. Inducement means you say you will give this so much as some sort of freebie kind of thing to make lure the people to take an insurance. So that should not be any undue influence, and there should not be any mistake or a misrepresentation in the facts. And more importantly, the persons who are taking insurance, they should be above 18 years of age, especially in the case of life insurance. And they should have a sound mind and not have any criminal background. So the objective should be legal. So most of these factors that have been listed out in this legal principles of insurance contract or a life insurance contract, whatever you may think, these are all simple fundamental aspects or requirements of any contract for that. No, it has to be free. There should be no coercion. It should not be fraudulent. No misrepresentation should be there. No mistake. People should be above 18 years of age. The objective should be legal. They should have a sound mind. They should not be having a criminal background. All these are exactly what is there in a contract. I'm having a chat. So, wait one minute. So this is what we saw. The next, we have understood what is banking. We have understood what is insurance. Now we are going to see what are the roles for commerce and corporate secretarieship students to become. What are the opportunities? Of course, you can become auditors. So when you take up a commerce stream or a corporate secretary, you can also pursue a chartered accountancy program, or you can also become a cost auditor. Okay. So these are all the options. I think this has been reasonably dealt upon in the last couple of days, last 2 days. As an insurance person, you can also become an actuary. Actuary is a field. It's a very what is called as a very most sought after and highly paid job. Who is an actuary? A person, especially it comes in the context of life insurance, a person who is going to work out what is the value of how life insurance has to be valued, how the premium has to be determined based on the age, based on the gender, based on the kind of medical history a person will have. So it is a combination of knowing actuarial science. There is a field called actuarial science. So people with commerce and corporate secretarieship background will be able to understand the nuances of actuarial science better, and therefore they can develop that skill of becoming an actuary. Bookkeeping and accounting is a fundamental basic requirement where everybody will be required as a commerce student in every organization. I'm also going to explain to you where do you have these roles. Okay. In the next slide that I'm going to discuss. And you will start as bookkeepers and accountants and kind of stuff, and then become finance managers, and then you can become chief financial officer of an organization. These are all very big positions and responsibilities, and it comes with very excellent packages. Financial analyst is another very strong emerging area where you as commerce students or corporate secretarieship students will be able to find place, of course, by developing, just like as I told you in you have to have actuarial science. If you combine that with data science as a program or something, you combine that, you can become a financial analyst. I'm going to explain in detail what is data science or data analytics role, and how do you can combine that with a financial. Commerce students know they are, if I can say, they can play because they try to understand the business in our them. They can also become. I have seen many organizations before where BCom, MCom people have become successful human resource managers because they know how to handle people, how to account their services and all. They have played a very effective role in becoming. On the face of it, it does not look like a director. I have listed it out to look in terms of evolving yourself. If you have those kind of what you call as aptitude towards managing a team and kind of stuff, you can do an MBA HR program, and a combination of a BCom with an MBA HR will also be a fantastic role to become an HR manager. Of course, you as a finance commerce student, the natural choice will be taking MBA finance. Of course, there are people who can also get into what you call as business development and by doing MBA marketing and kind of stuff. You can become an investment banker. When I say investment banker, that means you can work for an investment banking company. And later on, of course, when you develop the skills of investment banking and all those stuff, you can also think in terms of becoming part of the whole process of investment. And there is another very big role, what is called as investment consultants or investment brokers, who will help in facilitate the process of making the right type of investments, the right type of organization or banking companies or financial institutions, so that the maximum benefits are derived from. So they play a role between the finance companies or banking companies and the customers. They are called as investment brokers. And investment brokers could be, you coming from a commerce background and corporate, you can develop the skill of share trading. So everywhere you will, I'm talking about combining an additional skill. You will find, apart from the academic knowledge that we gain, we also have to develop additional skills. For actuaries, I told you about actuarial science. For auditors, I told you about focusing on becoming a chartered accountancy skills and cost accountancy skill or corporate company secretaryship skill kind of. Okay, these are all professional skills. In actuaries, you get into what you call the actuarial science. As finance managers, you have to develop the financial skills, acumen of analyzing the data, including the financial analyst. Finance managers, financial analysts kind of play a major role. The finance managers, they combine the aspect of being a financial analyst also with an HR combination, HR skills combination, and therefore they become managers. They are able to manage a team. So they have HR skills as well as financial analytical skills, and they become financial managers. Financial analyst, I told you about data, combining data science also. Human resource management is about team building skills, team management skills, and kind of stuff. HR skills. Investment banking is about developing how to where the finances are there, where should be the amount deployed for getting the maximum benefit. Okay, for as an investment banker. Investment brokers, as I told you, will have to be good in knowing the share market and share trading and kind of stuff. Investment analysis, again, it is more of, it could be on stocks relating to share market. It could be stocks relating to what you called as financial in forex markets. It could be on what you call the metal trading. You have n number of opportunities that are available for investments. It could be on real estates. It could be on gold and bullion. There are multiple options within the same line of activity. Budget analysis could be for any type of organization. You plan, those people who have that wherewithal to anticipate, visualize, foresee, based on the past, they are able to give a fantastic projection. Those are called as budget analysis. Business consultants, of course, you can, with your commerce and business background and your skill of handling a company and all, you can also become, as an individual business consultants, you can provide opportunities for provide insights to the various organizations for business decision making. Of course, business operation manager, because if you take a bank, a commercial bank manager you can call him as a finance manager, or you can also call him as a operation manager. What type of business is he doing? Banking business. So insurance company also has got similar. So you have, when I say operations manager, business operations, it includes all type of businesses. It could be a manufacturing business. It could be a trading business. In the manufacturing, it could be different types of manufacturing. It could be a automobile unit. It could be an assembly unit. It could be a process unit. It could be real estate. Okay. And in the trading, it could be agri stock. It could be any product for that. And of course, on the services sector, you have banking, you have insurance, you have investments, share trading. You have a number of activities, organizations that are there. So these are some of the list of positions that we were talking about generally, and within that also we are seeing the kind of roles that you can take. Now we are going to see the type of organizations which engage these people who come from this commerce and corporate sector. Public accounting firms. When I say public accounting firms, means these are all people who are providing accounting services like CA firms, chartered accountancy firms, and there are n number of organizations from a single professional chartered accountant to a very big organizations also, like companies like McKinsey, Ernst & Young, Price Waterhouse kind of accounting firms. So you could be some part of those types of organizations also. There are organizations which provide what you call as working capital management. They are funders, basically giving funding for working capital requirements. And you could be one of those persons trying to understand what is the working capital required for those organizations, determine exactly when the particular request is made, and accordingly provide services to the type of organizations. Then you have foreign trade. So foreign trade talks about everything. It talks about from the angle of foreign exchange currency management. It tries to understand the geo-social economic requirements of those countries where trading happens. What you call as It comes under what you call as international trade and finance. So you need to understand the legal implications of the various countries, how much, what are the imports regulations those countries have, what are the export regulations those companies have, and vis-a-vis from the point of view of our country. So this is the entire set of any organization which is into the foreign trade, either by way of imports or by way of exports or both, are all looking for people who can understand the dynamics of commerce, the dynamics of finance, the dynamics of accounting, the dynamics of budgeting, the dynamics of working capital management. So all these are organizations that look forward to it. Then industrial houses, as I told you before, any type of industry, any type of industry, manufacturing. If you go to in Chennai, if I talk from the context of Chennai, I can say when you go to Oragadam, there are n number of industrial houses. Similarly, you have something in Ambattur, something. You have emerging what is called industrial units emerging. And then you have, of course, the free trade zone areas where a lot of organizations are also coming up. And then you have standalone industrial houses also spread across the geography of this place of Chennai or Tamil Nadu or the entire country for that matter, or the whole globe. The whole, you should be, today we say that it has now become a global village. So, and especially with technology, we are going to see how technology plays a very big role in ensuring that industrial houses are connected, and that's how foreign trade also happens. Then you can become consultants for, as work for consultants who handle inventory control, management, and tax. Banking companies, insurance companies, budget planning companies, business consultants. I would like to focus here on business consultancies because there are quite a good number of organizations. I know companies, like Ernst & Young and McKinsey and Price Waterhouse. They have been selecting, going to college, commerce colleges, and selecting people for their. And what do these business consultancy firms do? They provide the these organizations, the industrial houses. It provides consultancy to government for their operations. So it is a huge area of opportunity sitting in front of us. Then, of course, educational institutions need people to handle their finances also. And then when we talk about banks, we have investment banking, insurance companies, and all that stuff. I have just listed, see, it is a huge list of opportunities that are there. And I am going to touch upon, when we talk about technology, we are going to see the different sectors also. So it is going to be you should not be looking at screen by screen. You should be seeing it as a flow of screens. Okay. So try to connect how the flow is, flow of ideas are emerging from the concept of banks to banking, insurance, to insurance companies, then the opportunities as roles for you and the organizations, and how it how things work today in the environment. I felt that we should be ready for the future. We should all be ready for the future. It's not enough to be ready for the present. You should be ready for the future. That is how you can equip yourself with the right type of knowledge, the right type of skills for you to take things forward. So it becomes, whether we like it or not, technology has become part and parcel of our lives. All of us are on mobile phone. All of us are on computers, systems, laptop, tabs, and everybody is using technology everywhere. If you go to a small shop, you know today, and thanks to the recent developments that have been taking across the country, everybody is now, they can do what you call using the mobile. They can make a payment through various opportunities. None of Google Pay, RuPay, you have, and everybody is doing that. And all that they have is a barcode that is there, user interface you need to have, and then it is the transaction takes place. And so everybody has started adopting technology, and these are all technology driven. So we have to align ourselves, adapt, align, adapt, adopt, so that our knowledge and our resources are put to best use. Okay. It is not enough if we just have the resources and knowledge. We need to make use of that. We have to apply them. We have to align, adapt, adopt. In fact, I should add the word that you have to apply all of it, the technology for the various applications. Okay. In this context, it becomes important that today everything is data driven, and that is where financial analytics. I'm going to focus on how technology, the big data technology, is playing a very, very big role today in terms of our modern life. Because all the things that today we are interacting, participating, utilizing. Today, I am interacting with you without my being physically present. So also Dr. Subramaniam and all of you, we are all at different geographical locations. Of course, maybe within the city. But even if we are abroad, we will be able to connect, and we are using technology today for communication. And this communication, this transaction that is taking place, my communication with all of you, is being recorded, and that is data. And which format it is being recorded? It is being recorded in the form of a video. And there are certain data content which is available. How it is going to be put to use, we are going to see that. So you have data coming out of various transactions. The one that we are doing is a transaction. If you go to a bank and you make a payment, it is a transaction. If you receive a payment, it is a transaction. And everywhere today, when you use internet banking services, mobile applications for services, banking services or insurance services, everywhere technology is being used. And across the globe, so many transactions are happening. And since so many transactions are happening, it is generating so much of data. Whenever transaction is happening, there is a data which is generated. Since the data is huge, it is called as big data. Okay. And why data is important, we are going to see that how we are going to connect data with our financial decision making and kind of. So big data, one is the volume part of it. Why it is called as big data? It is big because it is of huge volume. Not only that, it has got certain other characteristics. It is coming at a very great speed, at a great velocity. And data is also in a different format. It is not just structured like in a tabular row and column that you see in an Excel sheet or kind of stuff, rows and columns. No, you have a text data. Whatever you send as a message, information that is being shared, decisions are being taken. Those are all data based on which decisions are being taken. The video is a data. We did a project for making analysis of video for a railway company in US, wherein asset management was handled. The train has got a camera at the beginning, and in the US, the railways are not run by the government; it is run by private players. So a private company which wanted to have their assets managed. That's where no, as commerce students, there is a relevance. Commerce students or corporate secretaries who have there is a relevance to that asset management. They have assets in all the, not only the railway stations, across the railway track. They have different assets. The railway track itself is an asset. There are different assets that are spread across to connect this railway services that are being offered. Now, there is a camera which has been set and they regularly capture. Based on the kind of capture that happens of the various assets, we provided a solution about what are all the assets, because every asset has got certain specifications. One is it has to be monitored in terms of numbers. So whether the assets are available, so we have to create an algorithm which will tell that these number of assets, let us say if it is a lamp post, I mean the electrical post that provides electricity for the movement of the vehicle. So this lamp posts have to be, I mean not lamp posts, electrical posts have to be counted. Of course, those have to be there in place, so there should not be any problem. But within the on the electrical poles, there will be small assets. Those are also captured. If anything is lost, those are also captured. So the entire asset management of the railways was done using technology by analyzing the videos and also providing solutions in advance. Solutions that there are certain assets which have become wear, it has become wear and tear. It has lost its, it is slowly becoming not usable because it does not meet the specifications and therefore needs replacement. So these, there are parameters which are standards. You compare the images, the video, and compare with the standard. If it does not meet, you recommend that it has to be replaced. So this is how technology is used for asset management. As commerce student, you may not be writing the code for that, but you should know how assets have to be managed. So you can connect technology, people, and give solutions for the business. I am not a technology person, but I work for a company which provides solutions for business. So there are different tools, techniques, and applications of managing data. So as I told you, volume, the quantity, the speed at which data is coming, velocity, variety, and most importantly, how data is to be used, whether the data can be used. There will be n number of data that will be coming in, but there are certain things you have to identify, the ones that can be used, whether there is truth in that, usability is there, whether there is value. You have to see the verifiability, verity of it. And that is what is big data. 4 characteristics, what you call of big data, 4 V's are there: volume, velocity, variety, and verity. Now, when we talk about verification, why I talk about verification? See, today everyone uses what you call as, many organizations use social media for getting customer responses. Now, customer responses, how customer responses will be given? Earlier, they used to write to them by letters and all those stuff. Today, then it became email. Email is now a content. It is a data. So that can be taken. So you have text data. Okay. Somebody can record and mention and send an audio clipping to the company. That is another data as a response, customer feedback. Somebody can take a video and also send. They can take a, when there is a problem for a particular product. Let us say a washing machine has gone into a problem and you find that why it is not working. You take a video, like when you put on the switch, what is happening, and therefore it is not functioning. You take the entire video and send it to the company. Now the company, how do they respond? They see the video and then accordingly the technical person will be evaluating it and then responding to it. And that is the speed at which they will be able to respond. There is a greater speed in the response system. And customers feel happy when it is responded quickly. Instead of a person being sent and then thereafterwards he finds out what is wrong and then he goes back to get back some parts. Instead of that, he comes with all the necessary things because he knows what is the problem and fits it and goes. So that is how the problems are sorted out. But there is also the risk of that somebody who could be a non-customer, who could be a competitor in order to misguide or mislead or whatever may be the motive, can, or for the sake of just frustrating, put some responses which could be misleading. And therefore, it becomes the responsibility to find out what is really data, what is verifiable, whether there is truth or that, and that comes out of experience, based on the how frequently it is coming, where it is coming from, who is sending it, and what is the kind of language that they use. These are all what is called as text analytics that are done. So based on that, we can use technology and accordingly ascertain the requirements of a customer and respond to them. A customer, most important thing, earlier people were working for, organizations were working for profits. Of course, profits are very, very important. And how can profits come? If sales increases, sales minus cost is your profit. Fine, excellent. Sales minus expenses or income minus expenses is your profit. Fine, excellent. So you have to increase the sales or reduce the expenses. You do that. Fine. But the point is, how do you increase sales? Sales can be increased only when you are able to ensure your customers remain with you. That means you give a good customer response and then you expand the customer base by virtue of providing quality products, quality services. This is what we need to understand. As even if you are a commerce student, you should understand the context of business also. So when I talked about financial analytics as a position, today people who are data analysts, fintech analysts, there are about 38,000. And if you go and put a search in Naukri or any other thing, you will find. McKinsey says there are 190,000 jobs required. There is shortage. And then you have 50,000 jobs for the managerial level. But at the base level itself, 190,000. So there is a huge demand. Why I'm posting this is for you to understand that in India, only one job site, Naukri.com, is listing. You have other Times Jobs, you have other things, portals which provide job information. If you go to them, probably it will be more. And why it is important? Because as per the McKinsey report, it is a $33 trillion technology driven. The whole world, this is what we call as disruptive technologies that they say. Why it is called as disruptive technology? Because it is disrupting the way we are going to live. And what are they listed here? Mobile internet, we are seeing it, we have already seen it. Automation of knowledge, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, all come under automation of knowledge. Internet of Things, IoT, okay, cloud technology, advanced robotics, energy storage, 3D printing, advanced materials, advanced oil and gas exploration and recovery, renewable energy. These are all the areas on which a study has been made that technologies, these are the new technologies which are emerging. And what is its value? $33 trillion. And out of which $5.2, I have taken it from here. 5 point at the minimum level, though it is saying 5.2 to 6.7. 5.2 to 6.7. But I'm taking the lower of it, assuming it is only going to be 5.2. And that is, see, if you look at the band, the highest is in this area on the knowledge part of it. That means on the data science part of it. That is on the data analytics part of it. That is on the financial analytics part of it also, including that. Now, let us say this projection by McKinsey, they have done, of course, extensive study, but assuming that this is what is called as inflated, assuming 95% is going to become false, only 5% truth is there. Still, what is the value? Even if it is going to be 5% of the 5.2 trillion, it is going to be nearly 2.5 billion. Knowledge automation work opportunity. Where are they going to get the people? From countries like India, which is a knowledge base. And we are at the right place, the right country, at the right time. So IBM, this is a very big organization. They have said that the real world use of big data is in financial scenarios. That is the reason I was explaining why we need to use technology, and people, big players like SAID Business School, IBM, they have said that the real world use of big data is in financial services. How innovatively the financial and banking markets extract value from uncertain data. So because we are talking about data, I'm going to present to you some 2019-20, these are all the growth, 63% to 71%. See, global respondents is total 63%. Banking and financial market respondents are in this color, 71% is in the banking and financial sector. Okay, so there is a 97 from 36%, 69%. See how fast it is growing. Okay, so it is growing very fast. Instantly, it is the other way around. It is 19, 20, and 21. It is growing from 36% to 71%. Okay. Similarly, here it is also the type of adoptions that are coming. How many companies, banking and financial markets are adopting in a very, very big way the big data and the technology services. I'm going to, as I told you, I'm going to explain to you also all the use case. I'm just presenting to you the implications, customer-centric outcomes, operational optimization, risk and financial management. Look at here, 55%. Okay, these are the banking and financial markets. This is the color which is given. That is this one. Okay, operational optimization is here. That is this color. That is 4%. 23% is in risk and financial management. You will be also involved in the new business model. Customer-centric outcomes, as I told you, unless the customers are satisfied, you cannot improve the business. 55%. So it becomes very, very relevant that we need to connect. So where are they used? Information integration, scalable storage, workload optimization, stream computing, and all those things. I am not going into the infrastructure part of it because we are not there. And how do you generate data? In the form of transactions, events, emails, social media, sensors, IoT, audio, video, geospatial. Okay, so these are all these sources of it. And what kind of capabilities that are developed? Querying, reporting, data mining, data visualization, how to understand the data, optimization, simulation. That means you try to see, okay, at this level, at this position, this is the outcome. If I try to increase the position by 10 times, what will happen? You simulate that. So that is called as a simulation, simulating a particular environment into different contexts. Then natural language text process. That means how are we able to know today? If you see, if I have to do a translation of from one language to another, it is happening in Google very quickly. Why is it happening? Because they use what is called as natural language text analytics. They know the references. It is in the form of big data sitting somewhere, and it is able to convert it. Those and it is happening at very great speed. Geospatial analytics, team learning analytics. So everywhere, no, technology is playing a very big role, and we are using it also, and therefore it is very important. But before that, I'll just give you very short thing how we had used analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence for solving two use cases. I'm going to tell very short. One is for a banking company. The banking company had 24 different customers. 24 different products. When I say products, it means services: fixed deposit, savings account, current account. They had what is called credit card, loans, different types of loans. So they had 24 different products. 10 million customers, 13 million transactions were given for last 6 months. So you will find that, you know, if you are a banking customer, if not you, probably your parents would be experiencing it. Very often, no, bank companies, especially the private banks and all, they keep sending, you know, regularly what are the new schemes, new products and other things. They keep on sending it, and invariably people know, they don't even look at it because they find it as disturbing and distracting. Now, in the kind of mails or communications that are being sent, definitely there will be something which a customer may be really interested, but because it is coming in huge number, irrelevant things are coming, they just push it away. Now, if we are able to reach out to the right customer with the right product that they require, then it becomes easy for us to get connected. So based on the past transactions of 6 months, 13 million transactions for the 10 million customers across 24 different products, we were able to tell what is the next product is the customer will be interested in, and they can focus their marketing on that. To those customers, for those, we listed out top 5 products that they will be interested. So focus only on that, or top 3. You give them the list ranking 1 to 24. The banks can choose send only first 3, send only first 5, or send only 1. They can cycle it, first one, second one, third one. They found that the success rate, the marketing approach improved by about 60%. The conversion that happened. Similarly, in the case of insurance, there is always what is called as claims that can become fraudulent. That means claims that are not actually payable, but people will make a claim. So in order to address false claims, claims that need not be paid, what they normally do is manually they do analysis, especially we did it for a health medical insurance. So there could be a pre-existing disease which they would not have communicated. So depending on the kind of data that was provided to us, it was a Malaysian company. We did a project in Malaysia. So, and it is an MNC. I don't want to name because of the, we signed certain agreements for the non-disclosure. So we should not be disclosing which company it is, but I'm giving you the concept. So we, based on the transactions, the insurance claims that had come, we were able to tell what they were. Suppose they identify, let us say 100 claims are there received. They were able to mark, say, let us say 1,000 claims are received, out of which they mark, let us say 100 as suspicious, that it has to be investigated. So out of the 100, they found only 4 or 5 were really fraudulent. So they spent time on the entire 100. They wanted to improve the resources that was being spent. So based on the machine learning, artificial intelligence, based on the previous history and data, we were able to project and improvise it to about 60%. See the scale. That means the energy, whatever is the mission points out, will be more relevant in terms of investigation rather than going behind things, claims which are actually genuine but were considered as suspicious or fraudulent. So the real actual success rate was seen there. So what I'm trying to tell you is banking and insurance is a very, very big area where there is a huge scope. And if technology is also included in that, we can kind of provide better solutions for the organization. How do you bring technology? As BCom students and all, today you have opportunities to do programs with institutions. There are quite a good number of institutions, including ours, of course, but IITs have come, IIMs have come. There are quite a good number of institutions where you can parallelly develop those skills. What if you are interested in bringing analytics, data science, business analytics, all this into the whole concept, okay, of finance and so I have been talking about all these things, about the various opportunities. I will now come to the question answer session for you. I know I have been continuously speaking in English, but you are free. நீங்க தமிழ்லயும் கேள்விகள் கேட்கலாம். நான் ஏதாவது ஒரு விஷயத்தை நான் வந்து சொன்னது வந்து உங்களுக்கு தெளிவாக கிளியரா புரியலன்னா நீங்க தமிழ்ல கேளுங்க, நான் திருப்பியும் அதை ரிப்பீட் பண்றேன். ஐ டோன்ட் ஹேவ் எனி திஸ் திங் ப்ராப்ளம். நீங்க தமிழ்ல கேட்கலாம், ஹிந்தியில வேணும் கேட்கலாம். If there are people who do not know Tamil but know only Hindi but don't know also very comfortable with English, I'm comfortable with all these three languages. You are free to ask questions.
Students, if you have
questions, you can write in your chat box.
Okay, that is a approach they have, madam, or they ask?
I can unmute them, sir.
Okay.
If they have questions, they can raise their hands.
Yeah. I hope and I wish, because if it has to be interactive, actually normally if it is interactive, it becomes much more for them effective in terms of learning. Now, என்னோட ஆங்கிலம் உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருந்ததா? அட்லீஸ்ட் அதுக்கு நீங்க பதில் சொல்லலாம்.
I will initiate one question, sir.
Okay.
On behalf of the participant.
Okay.
Today I saw news on many public sector banks வந்து private sector மாற போகுது with the government இது present news. So public sector bank, private sector bank எங்க நாங்க அப்ளை பண்ணலாம்? Now we are +2. We are going for BCom, BA corporate or something in Patrician College. After 3 years, எந்த மாதிரி பேங்க் அப்ளை பண்ணலாம், என்ன எக்ஸாம் எழுதலாம், அது 3 years ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ண முடியுமா? ப்ளீஸ்.
ஓகே, நான் என்ன சஜஸ்ட் பண்ணுவேன்னா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் அவங்க வந்து இந்த ஐ எம் அஸ்யூமிங் வந்து ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து பிகாம் கார்பரேட் சர்டிஃபிகேட் வராங்க வித் டிஃப்ரெண்ட், அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு சில எதிர்பார்ப்பு இது இருக்கும், ஒரு பிளான் இருக்கும். இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்ல வந்து அவங்க வந்து 2 விஷயம் இருக்கு. நான் நார்மலா சஜஸ்ட் பண்றது என்னன்னா, +2ல இருந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் வரும்போது ஸ்கூல் என்விரான்மெண்ட்ல இருந்து காலேஜ் என்விரான்மெண்ட் வராங்க. அது அந்த டிரான்சிஷன், அண்ட் சில பேர் வந்து வெளியூர்ல இருந்து கூட வந்துட்டு இருப்பாங்க. ஸோ அப்படி இருக்கும்போது அந்த டிரான்சிஷன் வந்து செட்டிலிங் டைம் ஆகும். ஸோ இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்ல வந்து அவங்க வந்து அந்த நியூ கான்செப்ட்ஸ், இந்த காலேஜோட என்விரான்மெண்ட், இந்த அங்க சொல்லித்தர விதங்கள் எல்லாமே ஸ்கூல்ல இருந்து மாறுபட்டு இருக்கும். இதற்கு வந்து ஃபைன் டியூன் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அதுல மிஸ் அவுட்டே ஆகக்கூடாது. இந்த ஃபண்டமெண்டல்ஸ் ஆஃப் காலேஜ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் எஜுகேஷன் வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியமா இருக்கும். ஏன்னா பேசிக்ஸ் தான் அதுல தான் கவர் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ அதை ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ண பிறகு அதுல உங்களுக்கு ஒரு கிளாரிட்டி வரும். செகண்ட் இயர்லேருந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் வந்து இதுல தான் ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணணும். அடாப்டிங் தெம்செல்ஸ் டு த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் நாலேஜ் அக்விசிஷன், இதுக்கு வந்து இந்த புது என்விரான்மெண்ட்டுக்கு அகஸ்டம் ஆயிக்கிறதுக்கு லேர்னிங் ப்ராசஸ் அண்ட் கூச்சமே படக்கூடாது. கேள்விகள் கேட்கறதுக்கு கூச்சமே படக்கூடாது. எந்த கேள்வியும் தப்பு கிடையாது. பதில் தப்பா போகலாம், கேள்வி என்னைக்குமே தப்பா போகாது. உலகம் வந்து உருண்டையா என்ன ஷேப்ல இருக்கு அப்படின்னு கேட்ட போது அப்பெல்லாம் முன்கூட்டி எத்தனையோ வருஷங்களுக்கு முன்னாடி அந்த கேள்வி இன்னைக்கும் பொருந்தும். ஆனா அன்னைக்கு ஆன்சர் வந்து பிளாட்டா இருக்குன்னு சொன்னாங்க, இன்னைக்கு உருண்டையா இருக்குன்னு சொல்றோம். ஆனா ஆன்சர் மாறிடுது. கேள்வி வந்து இன்னைக்கு ரெலவெண்ட். ஆனா எந்த கேள்வி வேணாலும் கேட்கணும், தயங்காம அவங்க ப்ரொஃபசர்ஸ லெக்சரர்ஸ கேட்கணும். இது பாயிண்ட் நம்பர் 1. செகண்ட் இயர்ல அவங்க ஃபார்ம் அப் பண்ணிக்கணும் எந்த ஏரியால போறாங்க அப்படிங்கிறது. இன்சூரன்ஸ் செக்டாரை போறது பிடிக்குமா, பேங்கிங் போகணுமா அப்படிங்கிறத ஒரு ஒரு ஐடியா ஃபார்ம் பண்ண பிறகு பேங்கிங் போகணும்னு ஒரு முடிவு எடுத்துட்டாங்கன்னா அதுல வந்து ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் பண்ணிக்க கூடாது. பிரைவேட்டுக்கு போறோம் இதுக்கு போறோம்னு இல்லாம பேங்கிங் பத்தின அத்தனை தகவல்களும் அவங்க தெரிஞ்சு வச்சுக்கணும். அதாவது ஏன்னா இது வந்து இவால்வ் ஆகிக்கிட்டே வருது. அவங்களோட செலெக்ஷன் ப்ராசஸ் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா மார்க்கெட்ல எப்படி மாற்றங்கள் வருதோ அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி அவங்களோட செலெக்ஷன் ப்ராசஸையும் மாத்திக்கிட்டு வராங்க. முன்னாடி வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்தந்த ரீஜனல்ல வந்து எக்ஸாம்ஸ் வச்சுக்கிட்டு இருந்தாங்க, அப்புறம் ஆல் இண்டியா சில இதுக்கெல்லாம் வச்சுக்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஸோ அவங்க வந்து செகண்ட் இயர்ல ஆனா மாற்றங்கள் வந்து வருஷம் மாறுறதுல ஒரு 2-3 வருஷத்துக்கு 3-4 வருஷத்துக்கு ஒரு தடவை மாறி. ஸோ அட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் முடியும் போது என்னெல்லாம் இது இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறத கூகுள்ல அவங்க ஸ்டடி பண்ணணும். ப்ரொஃபசர்ஸ் கிட்ட டீச்சர்ஸ் கிட்ட கேள்விகள் கேட்டு தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். நம்மள மாதிரி ஆட்கள்கிட்டையும் அவங்க வந்து தே கேன் அப்ரோச். அப்கோர்ஸ் அது ஒன்றும் ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லை. என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படிங்கிறது. அதுக்கப்புறம் அதுக்கு என்ன ரிக்குவயர்மெண்ட். இப்போ எக்ஸாம்ஸ்னா அவங்க வந்து ரீசனிங் ஸ்கில்ஸ் இருக்கும், நியூமரிக்கல் ஸ்கில்ஸ் இருக்கும், லாஜிக்கல் திங்க் இருக்கும். இதெல்லாம் தான் அவங்க வந்து ஸ்டடி பண்றாங்க. ஸோ இந்த ஸ்கில்ஸை வந்து இது வந்து எல்லாத்துக்குமே பொருந்தும். பேங்கிங்க்கு இல்லை, இன்சூரன்ஸ்க்கு இல்லை, எனி டைப் ஆஃப் ஆர்கனைசேஷனுக்கு இது ஃபண்டமெண்டல் ஸ்கில்ஸ். இதை எப்படியுமே அவங்க டெவலப் பண்ணணும். ஆனா ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா பேங்கிங் செக்டரை பத்தி அவங்க வந்து அடிஷ்னலா இன்புட்ஸை கேதர் பண்ணிக்கிறது நல்லது. ஸோ அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி அவங்க வந்து எந்த மாதிரி பிரைவேட் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸ்னா அவங்க செலெக்ஷன் ப்ராசஸ் எப்படி வச்சிருக்காங்க, அவங்களுக்கு எப்படி நம்ம ரீச் அவுட் பண்ண போறோம். இப்போ ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியமா நான் என்ன சொல்லுவேன்னா செகண்ட் இயர்ல இருந்து நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர்லயே பண்ணிக்கோங்க, லிங்க்டின் அக்கௌண்ட் ஓபன் பண்ணுங்க. எல்லாருமே நீங்க எல்லாருமே லிங்க்டின்ல இது பண்ணீங்கன்னா அது வந்து ப்ரொஃபஷனல். இது அங்க வந்து நீங்க ஃபேஸ்புக் மாதிரி தயவு செய்து யூஸ் பண்ணாதீங்க. அங்க வந்து சப்ஜெக்ட் மேட்டர்ல நிறைய உங்களோட ஏரியாஸ் ஆஃப் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் போட்டீங்கன்னா அது சம்பந்தமா நிறைய விஷயங்கள் ஷேர் பண்ணுவாங்க. சில பெரிய இவங்கெல்லாம் எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஷேர் பண்ணுவாங்க. அவங்களுக்கு நீங்க ரெஸ்பாண்ட் பண்ணுங்க, கேள்விகள் கேளுங்க. இதெல்லாம் நீங்க பண்ணும்போது அதுல நிறைய பேர் எம்ப்ளாயர்ஸ் இருப்பாங்க. நீங்க உங்களோட ஆவலும் உங்களுடைய இதையும் நீங்க தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டாங்கன்னா அவங்க அதை தான் எதிர்பார்க்கறாங்க. உங்களுக்கு சப்ஜெக்ட்ல கொஞ்சம் முன்ன இருந்தா கூட பரவாயில்ல, ஆனா தெரிஞ்சுக்கணுங்கிற ஆவல் இருந்தது, குவெஸ்ட் ஃபார் நாலேஜ், ஃபார் நோயிங், அது இருந்ததுனாலே யூ பிகம் ஒன் ஆஃப் தி பொட்டன்ஷியல் எம்ப்ளாயி. இது வந்து டெவலப் பண்ணும். மூணாவது, எம்ப்ளாயியாக இருக்கிறதோட எம்ப்ளாயரா இருக்கிறது எப்படிங்கிற இதையும் டெவலப் பண்றதுக்கு முயற்சி பண்ணணும். ஆண்டர்பிரனர் செல்ஃபா நம்ம என்ன பண்ண முடியும், நம்மளால ஆஸ் அன் இண்டிவிஜுவலா என்னென்ன ஸ்கில்ஸ் டெவலப் பண்ணிக்க முடியும். கேன் வி பிகம் அன் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் அட்வைசர்? அதுக்கு நம்ம இன்சூரன்ஸ் இதுல வந்து நம்ம வந்து சர்வீஸ் ப்ரொவைட் பண்ண முடியுமா, ஒரு ஏஜென்ட் ஆக முடியுமா, அதுக்கு என்னெல்லாம் தேவை அதை பத்தி தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம். இல்ல ஷேர் மார்க்கெட் ட்ரேடிங்ல இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்கும். ஸோ இண்டிவிஜுவலா இதெல்லாம் வந்து நீங்க இண்டிவிஜுவலாவே ஒரு பண்ணலாம். அப்புறம் ஒரு டீமா நீங்க செயல்படலாம். ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்கும் ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்ட்ரென்த் இருக்கலாம், அதை வந்து யூ கேன் கம்பைன் தட். ஸோ இதை வந்து தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ அனதர் திங் வேர் யூ ஆர் நாட் லுக்கிங் ஃபார் வேலையை தேடி போகாம நீங்களே உங்களுக்கு ஒரு வேலையை கிரியேட் பண்ணிக்கிறீங்க, மற்றவங்களுக்கும் நாளைக்கு வேலை கொடுக்கறதுக்கான வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. This is what I would suggest. Have I answered your question, sir?
Correct. Thank you. Excellent. But one more thing. See, banking, insurance, the NISM ஒன்று இருக்கு. the financial markets. இந்த மூணுத்துக்கும் இப்போ எப்படி இருக்காங்கன்னா ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் we both know, many of the teachers and faculties also know. +2 முடிச்சு வந்த உடனே சார் இந்த 3 வருஷம் நான் ஒரு காலேஜ்ல பண்றேன். பேட்ரிஷியன் காலேஜ் ஹஸ் 11 டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ். எனக்கு 2-3 days பேக் தெரியும். டிஃப்ரெண்ட் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட் அது இனிமேல் தான் என்னென்ன பிகாம் பிஏ கார்பரேட் இருக்கு பிளஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஏரியாஸ் அக்கௌண்டிங் ஃபினான்ஸ். சரி, இப்போ இந்த 3 ஏரியா நான் பண்ண அப்புறம் 3 இயர்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறமா நான் ஒரு ஆர்டினரி கிளர்க்கா ஆர்டினரி இடத்துல போய் ஜாயின் பண்றேன். அப்புறம் நான் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஆன அப்புறம் நான் ஆண்டர்பிரினர் ஆகிறேன், இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் பேசிஸ் ஆகிறேன், அது வேற. இப்போ நான் இமீடியட்டா இந்த 3 இயர்ஸ் முடிச்ச அப்புறமா வேலைக்கு போனோம்னா பேங்கோ இன்சூரன்ஸோ இந்த நேஷனல் இன்ஸ்டியூட் ஆஃப் செக்யூரிட்டி NIS சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா, 21 மாடியூல் தான் இருக்கு. இதை பத்தி கொஞ்சம் சொன்னீங்கன்னா கொஞ்சம் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு இட் பி வெரி ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல். தேங்க்யூ.
நேஷனல் இன்சூரன்ஸ்
நேஷனல் இன்ஸ்டிடியூட் ஆஃப் செக்யூரிட்டி மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் NISM சர்டிபிகேஷன், IRDA அண்ட் பேங்க் போறதுக்கு இது நான் அந்த 3 வருஷத்துல டைமை வேஸ்ட் பண்ணாம எந்தெந்த எக்ஸாம்ஸ்லாம் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணா 3 இயர்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறம் என்னோட பயோடேட்டாவை ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா கூப்பிடுவாங்க. பேங்கோ இன்சூரன்ஸோ இல்ல ஃபினான்ஷியல் மார்க்கெட்ஸ்ல. அது கொஞ்சம் நீங்க சொன்னீங்கன்னா இட் பி மச் பெட்டர்.
அதான் நீங்களே எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண மாதிரி இது இந்த 3 ஆர்கனைசேஷன் IRDAன்னு ஒரு எப்படி பேங்கிங் ரெகுலேஷன்ஸ் இதுக்கு இருக்கிற மாதிரி IRDAன்னு இன்சூரன்ஸ் ரெகுலேட்டரி டெவலப்மெண்ட் அத்தாரிட்டின்னு ஒன்று இருக்கு, IRDA. ஸோ அவங்க வந்து ஒரு எக்ஸாமினேஷன் கண்டக்ட் பண்றாங்க. அதுக்கு வந்து ரெகுலரா குவைட் ஆஃபனா அவங்க வந்து எக்ஸாம்ஸ் பண்றாங்க. அதுல இன்சூரன்ஸ் சம்பந்தப்பட்ட கேள்விகள் வரும். அது எல்லாமே அதுதான் நான் அவங்கள்ட்ட முன்னாடியும் ஷேர் பண்ணது என்னன்னா, இந்த IRDA எக்ஸாமினேஷன்ஸ் பாஸ் பண்ணினாங்கன்னா அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு லைசன்ஸ் கிடைக்கும், அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு சர்டிபிகேட் கிடைக்கும். ஆக்சுவல் லைசன்ஸ்ல சர்டிபிகேட் கிடைக்கும். இந்த சர்டிபிகேட்டை வச்சுக்கிட்டு இன்சூரன்ஸ் கம்பெனிஸ் லைக் கோடாக் இன்சூரன்ஸோ டாடா இன்சூரன்ஸ் அவங்களே இன்ஃபேக்ட் ரெக்கமெண்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க, நீங்க இந்த எக்ஸாம் எழுதிட்டு வாங்க அப்படின்னு. ஸோ எந்த அது டாடா இன்சூரன்ஸ்க்கா இருந்தாலும் சரி, கோட்டாக்கா இருந்தாலும் சரி, ஆர் எனி இன்சூரன்ஸ் கம்பெனிக்கா இருந்தாலும் IRDA தான் கவர்னிங் பாடி. அந்த எக்ஸாம் தான் எழுதணும். ஸோ அந்த எக்ஸாமுக்கு ப்ரிப்பரேஷன்ஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அதுக்கு N நம்பர் ஆஃப் சைட்ல நிறைய மெட்டீரியல்ஸ் இருக்கு, பாஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின் பேங்க்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கு. ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் இவங்க முடிச்ச பிறகு சூஸ் பண்ண பிறகு இந்த ஏரியால போறோம் அப்படின்னு சூஸ் பண்ண பிறகு இதுக்கான ப்ரிப்பரேஷன்ஸ் வந்து தே ஹாவ் டு டூ ரிசர்ச். இது வந்து எதுவுமே ரெடிமேட் மாடல் கிடையாது. தே ஹாவ் டு டூ, இது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம் சார். அதாவது தே ஹாவ் டு ஷோ, they should not be expecting அவங்க கொஞ்சம் they have to make that effort to go and study IRDA ல என்ன மாதிரி questions are being asked இருக்கு. there are question banks. similarly இங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி நேஷனல் செக்யூரிட்டி அதுக்கு ஒரு எக்ஸாமினேஷன் இருக்கு. அது they also conduct very regularly, they conduct those examinations. அதுக்கு ஃபார்மேட்ஸ் இருக்கு, டெம்ப்ளேட்ஸ் இருக்கு. இந்த மாதிரி ஃபார்மேட்ல தான் கொஸ்டின்ஸ், வாட் டைப் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் வரும், எந்தெந்த ஏரியா சொன்னோம். நீங்க அதை வந்து பிராக்டிஸ் செஷன்ஸா நீங்க செகண்ட் இயர்ல இருந்தே ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிக்கிறது, இது எல்லாம் தான் கவரேஜ் ஆகுதுங்கிறது தெரிஞ்ச பிறகு இந்த சிலபஸை ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிட்டு யூ கேன் டேக் மாக் கொஸ்டின்ஸ், மாக் டெஸ்ட் எடுத்துட்டு நீங்க வந்து ரியல் டைம், ஏன்னா டைம் பேஸ்ட், அது வந்து ஒரு ½ hour டெஸ்ட் நடக்கும், 1 hour டெஸ்ட் நடக்கும், 1.5 hours டெஸ்ட்னு ஒவ்வொன்றுத்துக்கும் ஒவ்வொரு மாதிரி இருக்கு. அதே மாதிரி பேங்கிங்ல இருக்கிறோம். ஸோ நீங்க அந்த டெஸ்ட்டை வந்து நீங்க ஒரு மாக் டெஸ்டா எடுத்துக்கிட்டு செகண்ட் இயர்ல தேர்ட் இயர்ல நீங்க ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா அந்த எக்ஸாமையும் எழுதி முடிச்ச பிறகு உங்களுக்கு சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா ஒரு சர்டிபிகேட் வாங்கிட்டீங்கன்னா யூ கேன் ரீச் அவுட் டு திஸ் ஆர்கனைசேஷன்ஸ், கம்பெனிஸ் விச் ஆர் ஸ்டாக் எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச்ல இருக்கிறதோ இல்ல இது பண்றதோ, அவங்க வந்து நீங்க வந்து இந்த மாதிரி சர்டிபிகேட் ஹோல்டர் அப்படின்னு சொன்னீங்கன்னா அடிஷ்னலா உங்களுக்கு டு பிகம் eligible to get into those organizations. Though it is not a prerequisite na kuda உங்களுக்கு உங்களோட weight கொஞ்சம் அதிகமாக.
Thank you. Other participants can ask questions if you have time.
I have time. They can ask.
They must have time, and faculty also.
Yeah, I understand.
11:45, I think they have.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I understand. I'm just putting the screen before I really sign off. so that they can note down if they want to get more clarifications. ஏதாவது வேணும்னா அவங்க கால் பண்ணி கேட்கலாம். Because we are always for the students ஓட development, அவங்களோட career growth and prospects la we always show interest, so they can always approach us to take any kind of support or help for their career development.
Any questions, we can probably type or please ask.
ரெண்டு ஒண்ணு எல்லாம் புரிஞ்சிருக்கணும், இல்ல ஒண்ணுமே புரியல.
Correct. I think Parveen and the HOD is there. They can also ask questions if you feel like.
Students, are they from the English medium, Tamil medium, or mix of?
No, plus two completed, joining, and first year BCom and BA
Attending.
corporate also attending.
So this for them it is the right time now to explore this, which I told.
Yes, yes. Any questions? See, definitely what he said, the bank exam is a must for joining any bank. Now IRDA is a must. Insurance Regulatory Development Authority exam is must for joining insurance. It has become compulsory. If you are joining any financial market, the security market, money market, or any financial advisory areas, HDFC Bank separate இருக்கு. அதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து NIS வந்து 21 modules are there. இதெல்லாம் time waste பண்ணாம +2 complete பண்ணிட்டு 3 years when you are with the college. Anyway, after 2-3 weeks, we are going to come to the college along with Mr. Dr. Vasudevan and the first day, Mr. Ganesh Vaidiswaran. We are going to tell you more about all these areas. அப்பலேருந்தே பிளான் பண்ணீங்கன்னா it will be wonderful for next 3 years to get into a job. எதுக்காக அப்படி சொல்றோம்னா, after 3 years, many banks and insurance company will come for placement. That time you can't hurry and prepare. If you are prepared very well, you stand a better chance. உங்களுக்கு நல்ல சான்ஸ் கிடைக்கும் இமீடியட்டா எடுத்துக்கிறதுக்கு. அந்த பேசிஸ்ல தான் இந்த program has been organized by Patrician College now itself, the beginning of the year itself in first year. Second year, third years also should know that you will have a separate program. Any other question? He has covered excellently well on banking, insurance and technology. Technology is going to be the future. அதை மட்டும் செஞ்சீங்கன்னா வாட் கேட்க எடுத்துன்னு போயிடுவாங்க. So any other thing, please ask him at the right time now.
சின்ன முயற்சி பண்ணுங்க. எல்லாத்தையும் நீங்க முதல் முயற்சி எடுக்கிறதுல தான் இருக்கு. நீங்க முயற்சி பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கணும். முயற்சி பண்ணாதான் வளர்ச்சி இருக்கும். So always take that first step to second step. அப்புறம் பெரிய பெரிய இதெல்லாம் தாண்ட வேண்டாம். சின்னதா முயற்சி பண்ணுங்க, மேல வரலாம். ஆனா முயற்சியை மட்டும் விட்டுறாதீங்க எல்லாத்துக்கும். அதுதான் ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம்.
We leave the floor to the college people. You can take up. Arvind is there? HOD is there? Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for valuable advice. Yugandran?
Volume should be increased.
Volume,
please.
Okay. Ivan? Yes, Ivan?
Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable words, sir, which makes us perfect. Thank you is the best prayer that anyone could say. I say that one a lot. Thank you expresses extreme gratitude and understanding. I now request Mr. Vignesh, sir, Assistant Professor from Department of Corporate Secretariship, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning to all. Yes, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, good morning. Audible, yes.
Yes, good morning to all. I am glad to express gratitude to all those who are made this a memorable one, First and foremost, I thank the Almighty God for his blessing and guidance. I extend my hearty thanks to the resource person, most respected Dr. S. Vasudevan, for accepting the invitation and for delivering an informative and knowledge-filled session related to the career opportunities in banking, insurance, and technology program. Thank you, sir. My sincere and profound thanks to Director and Secretary Dr. Stanislas, our Academic Director Dr. Fatima Vasant, Principal Dr. Usha George, for their constant support and encouragement to conduct the HTB. I extend my sincere thanks to the Vice Principalship to Dr. Aurokemeri Geeta Rupesh for enabling us for meticulous plan and execution. Thank you, ma'am. A special thanks to Dr. R. Subramaniam, founder and CEO, MindBix Project and Training Private Limited, who coordinate along with us all 3 days. Thank you, sir, for your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Lord but not least, I thank all the students from various school and colleges, including the first year students of Patrician College of Arts and Science. Once again, I thank you all for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll meet later.
Thank
Thank you. Best
Thank you,
wishes.
sir.
All God's
you.
grace. All
Thank
God's
you all.
grace. Thank you. Thank you.